AI startups are raising billions. But here's the harsh truth. According to an MIT report, 95% of generative AI pilots at companies are failing. Big visions, bold promises, and then boom, most crash and burn. So, why do they fail? Today, we're breaking down the biggest AI startup failures and the brutal lessons every founder, investor, and techies needs to know. By the way, this is part 2 of a 2-video series. Today, we're looking at AI startups aiming to disrupt professional industries. If you missed part 1, where we broke down the what's trying to transform daily life, it's already up on the channel. Go check it out and stick around to the end because here's how to become the top 5%. Let's start with Ansaro. On paper, it had everything: a $3 million seed round, a talented 6-person founding team, and a clear mission: reinvent the hiring process. So you get it, very ambitious to sound like many other startups. Ansaro pitched itself as AI for better recruiting decisions. The idea was simple: use predictive analytics and structured interviews to help companies pick the right people. They even built an AI note-taker so recruiters won't miss anything in the interviews. Though things didn't pan out as planned, AI for hiring, but nobody was hiring it. Ansaro struggled to get enough customer data because customers were holding back, some concerned about data privacy, others just didn't trust AI recruiting as a whole. Sounds weird, right? Co-founder Sam Stone later admitted these AI models just weren't ready for production. In other words, the tech looked really impressive on paper, but couldn't handle messy real-world data or make reliable hiring decisions. There's also a mismatch of our target users. Ansaro pitched high-level HR executives, but the real users were frontline recruiters. Recruiters didn't care much about quality hiring. Sometimes, at pressure counts, they just want to fill the position faster. So, sadly, Ansaro was trying to resolve a wrong problem. Sales also didn't scale. Much of their traction came from the founders' personal charisma and network, but not a product. Honestly, it's not a sustainable sales strategy. Importantly, Ansaro wasn't starting on the greenfield. By then, applicant tracking systems like Liver, Napan, and Greenhouse were already everywhere. The message was simple: we'll help you find the candidates faster, clear, measurable, and directly solving a pain point. Ansaro's pitch: quality hiring. It's really hard to prove and measure the impact in the short term. Well, it's not to say Ansaro had nothing going for it. They actually built a pretty good AI note-taker, but that alone wasn't enough to justify their product. In another universe, that story could have played out very differently. Take Friend.io, for instance. It started as a simple post-production video review tool and scaled into a billion-dollar company, eventually acquired by Adobe for nearly $1.3 billion. In 2024, they had $21 million in annual revenue. But if you think Ansaro's story is a classic startup failure but missing a real problem, then Eduaide AI is a whole different mess. Eduaide AI, at its peak, raised close to $1 billion in funding and was valued at $4 billion. Its promise to be the AI operating system for healthcare. The pitch were irresistible. Healthcare is bloated, slow, and buried in paperwork. Alif promised to fix it out, automating insurance claims, streamlining hospital admin, and cutting costs everywhere. Investors couldn't resist. Money poured in. Praise crowd Olive as the future of healthcare AI. But here's the uncomfortable truth: Olive never had the right focus. Instead of locking onto one clear problem and solve it, Olive kept pivoting. They started with the claims processing, then moved on to the medical supply chain, and finally to patient records. No progress had a good solution. The roadmap shifted so often, employees joked they needed a GPS just to follow along. The leadership culture didn't help. Reports pointed to a toxic workplace, long hours, poor communication, even unethical practices. As one former employee said, the product wasn't a problem, leadership was. And then came the excessive spending. Olive burned through their cash without focusing on the core business. Like there was no tomorrow. Lavish perks, no discipline, zero accountability. The result? Layoffs, investor debt, and finally collapse. By 2023, Olive was gone. Its assets sold for scraps. So what went wrong? Not the AI, the tech worked, at least in parts. What ultimately led to Olive's demise was hubris, a lack of focus, toxic leadership, and reckless spending. Lesson learned: AI doesn't fix bad business. You can fix billions, but without discipline and sustainability, it all came crashing down. Another example: Brett Thermoder, a founder, raised $1 million from all 5 sharks on Shark Tank. The focus was bright, the pitch was strong, but the product, it didn't work as advertised. And instead of fixing it, the founder burned through the cash on a lavish lifestyle. Mark Cuban later called it his worst investment ever. Healthcare is the only sector under strain. Education's in crisis too. Teachers are exhausted, burnout is high, and GenAI tools promise relief. Faster grading, automated lesson plans, even personalized learning. Here comes Eduaide AI. The pitch: a one-stop AI assistant for teachers for just $6 a month. Eduaide would whip up parenting notes, quizzes, lesson outlines, and even SEL behavioral sequences. Affordable? Yes. Useful? Sometimes. Popular? Not really. Here's why. The space is already crowded. Teachers already rely on Quizlet, Coursera, and other district-approved tools. What about students? They're on ChatGPT. Eduaide just couldn't stand out. Then Microsoft Copilot dropped, free with school licenses, overnight, and $6 subscription. That on arrival. Eduaide's story is a reminder: in a saturated market, clever isn't enough. Big tech has users, influence, and a budget. If a product is just a feature, they can copy it overnight. You have to be 10 times better with a unique edge, or you're fed fast. But here's the hard truth: not every AI unicorn will make it. Some will pivot, some will merge, and yes, some will flame out in spectacular fashion. Just look at Intuit. Today, it's a powerhouse behind TurboTax and QuickBooks. But back then, it was a clunky finance software on the verge of collapse. The turnaround came when they realized consumer finance tools were the right path. That's where they snowballed their revenue to become today's multi-billion-dollar company. AI brings huge market opportunities. According to Manon Ventures, in just 2.5 years since ChatGPT launched, consumer AI has exploded into a multi-billion-dollar market. But peel back the hype, the usage patterns reveal where the real opportunities lie. Gen Z needs adoption, of course, but here's the twist: millennials are the true power users, reporting more daily interactions than their younger peers. But it's not to say AI is the youngest again. Nearly half of baby boomers have tried AI in the last 6 months, with 11% using it daily. Work, school, parenting. AI is quietly weaving into every corner of life. That's why it feels different. AI isn't just a flash demo anymore. It's turning into a full-blown economic engine. So, what's the common thread? 3 words: the innovation dilemma. Too many GenAI startups sounded different, but under the hood, they were clones. Built on GPT-4, Anthropic, or similar AI models. No unique edge, solving nice-to-have problems instead of must-have ones, and fading fast in the crowded market. Then comes trust. In AI, data privacy and security aren't optional. They are everything. And customers really hand their trust to new startups. That meant many AI startups couldn't access reliable, high-quality datasets. Even worse, when they lean too heavily on OpenAI or Anthropic, then your whole product depends on someone else's platform. Your future is no longer in your hands. It's in theirs. And finally, execution. Big promises are easy. Scaling them is brutal. Oliver had cash, but no discipline. And Sarah had a vision, but no fit. Eduaide was cheap, but not essential. It's not our doom and gloom after all in this crazy AI startup world. Many AI startups are thriving and even hitting unicorn status. So, what separates winners from losers? One magical word: adaptability. The best founders nail the job to be done. They solve the right problem and pivot quickly when needed. They don't rush into broad markets. They own a niche first. They obsess over customer feedback. The balance take with business. They innovate relentlessly. As Program reminds us, startups take off when you build something users truly want, launch early, and grow fast. Winners don't build tech for tech's sake. They build to resolve real pain points and do it well. So, in his own words, learn about things that matter, work on problems that interest you, do it with people you like and respect. That sounds a lot, but let's face it, 95% of startups fail. But there's always that top 5%, the survivors, just like the ones who made it through the dot-com bubble. I want to hear it from you. What's the number one reason the AI startups fail? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this breakdown, don't miss part 1 of the series on AI startups transforming everyday life. Videos like this take hours of research, recording, and editing for me and my team. But if you find them valuable, it's all worth it. So here's the deal. If this video has 100 likes, I'll make part 3. Only you can make it happen. Subscribe to our channel and our newsletter. I'll see you in the next one.